Hi, my name is Doron Pinhas. I'm the CTO of Continuity Software. I'm here today to present to you RecoverGuard, a high availability and disaster recovery configuration management and analytics tool that will put you back in control of both data protection and application availability. Enterprises spend huge amounts of capital expense and labor to build a resilient IT infrastructure to protect against data loss and allow fast recovery of application, business services, and their data. In all other areas of IT, when configuration complexity reaches a certain critical mass, the right management tools are deployed. This makes lots of business sense because resorting to Excel spreadsheet management style will inevitably result in lack of control, inefficient resource utilization, and hidden configuration errors. However, when it comes to high availability and DR infrastructure, people would still rely on point solution, custom scripts, and manual risky and labor-intensive planning, auditing, and testing. The sad reality is that in many cases when your systems or investment is put to the test, you might find that you still suffer from downtime and data loss because of configuration drifts you were not aware of between various elements in your infrastructure, such as storage and storage networking, servers, operating systems configuration, replication, clustering, and so on. Today, I'm going to show you how the right tool can protect your investment in high availability and DR and allow you to reach unprecedented levels of control and confidence in your ability to recover at any time. RecoverGuard is totally agentless software, which can be deployed in a couple of hours and after completing its first scan, show you where your risks lie and how to fix them to reach optimal protection level. In addition, RecoverGuard will help optimize your high availability and DR configuration in terms of server and I/O performance, storage and replication network utilization, and many others. Let's log into RecoverGuard through its state-of-the-art web interface. Once you log in, you get to the dashboard. That's the first product tab, and it allows you to review in a glance what's the status of your IT environment and the results of the last RecoverGuard scan. As you can see, additional product tabs exist, which we shall cover later in the demo. The dashboard is divided into several areas. From the top left, it will show you the status of the last scan, and what major changes were detected in your IT, such as the addition or removal of servers and storage arrays. Below, trending information of risks in the data center by category. Further below, the top issues, and to the right, the readiness of your business applications and services. I want to take a moment to review the last item. RecoverGuard keeps track of dependencies between your high-level business applications or business processes and the collection of IT resources that support them. This way it can report back on identified configuration risks and show you how they affect your business. There are four main metrics, which could be green, yellow, or red to indicate a call for action. And if non-green, data risk will indicate that your data, either in production or DR, is at risk, obviously. Availability indicates that RecoverGuard has detected a configuration issue in one of your standby systems, either local or remote, that might result in extended downtime as a result of failure of your standby systems. Optimization indicates that RecoverGuard can suggest ways to increase performance and efficiency or better comply with various vendors' best practices. And finally, SLA allows you to track your IT environment compliance with required data protection and availability goals, such as RPO, retention, I/O capacity, and so on. Any of the non-green signs, like most part of the dashboard, is clickable, and it will take you straight to the appropriate section of the product to get more detail. Let's see what happens when we click on the data risk sign for the ERP business application. As you may notice, this brings us into the Tickets tab, which we shall explore for the next several minutes. In this tab, you'll find a variety of views, search options, and tools to allow you to clearly focus and drill down into any area of interest. As you can see now, the focus is on data-related risk categories that apply to the ERP business application. As a side note, RecoverGuard keeps tracks of various potential risk categories, and you can select or narrow down the selection based on any of these. And it's not only useful here to search and retrieve tickets, but also for alerting and report customization. I'm just going to leave the selection as it is right now on data risks. So on the top of the screen, you will see a summary list of data-related risks for this business entity. And I'm going to click on one of them. So this brings up at the bottom part of the screen the ticket details. There's quite a lot of information you can drive out of a RecoverGuard ticket, And as we can see, we have several sub-tabs here. Begin with a description, basically what's the issue, and it will contain all the necessary information to reach out and fix the problem. Next is the business impact, and then instructions on how to resolve this particular issue. Some information about the history, and we can see this is a repeating problem in the data center. And finally, an area to preserve knowledge and comments. So we have also several controls for ticket manipulation and lifecycle management. I'm going to click our very first product button, and this is going to show up the topology. And basically, RecoverGuard will pick the most appropriate view to describe the problem. Now, this particular ticket shows us an incomplete replication. Notice how most of the storage devices are replicated, and probably were so from the creation of this particular volume group. And now a new device was added, but it has no replica. And you may notice that RecoverGuard has highlighted the offending device. The practical meaning is that from this point in time onward, we can no longer recover our data in the event of a disaster. Now let's move on to several more examples. I'm going to get back into the tickets module and select a new sample. We're going to review some more data protection risk samples as I introduce some more product capabilities. I'm going to use this filter tree at the left to switch context to the entire data center, not just the ERP business application. By the way, you can also do the narrowing down by focusing on individual sites, databases, or hosts. And so let's just take another example. This one is a relatively interesting one. I'm going to open the topology and then use the incremental view to tidy it up a bit. So this is a Hitachi storage environment. We have a Windows host which is using some SAN storage volumes. These are the volumes, by the way, and the host is totally unaware that there is a certain replication relationship that exists in between those two devices it uses to some other currently unallocated storage disks. Now this puts the data of host Blake D at significant risk. Now while it may seem a bit strange at the first glance, this is usually typical when you reclaim storage from an existing system and then at a later point in time start to use it again. And this is probably what happened here. Now probably the storage admin did not pay notice to the fact that these two new devices have the burden of the replication dependencies that still exists. Sysadmin will definitely not suspect that, and so the system can work for a while with no particular problem. The risk here is that at a certain point in time those two other devices, which I'm going to highlight, will get used by another system, and then storage admin may ask herself, well, why isn't the replication in use? And by putting it back to use, it will immediately corrupt the data of host Blake D, which is totally unsuspecting that this may happen, which will bring us to a complete data loss incident. Now, clearly, the easiest thing to do is just to dissolve the replication dependency between those two devices, as definitely there is no reason to keep that going on, and this will allow us to eliminate the risk altogether. So basically our next example will involve an Oracle best practice violation that could lead to data loss. So I'm going to open the topology again, and I want to zoom in into the affected areas. I want to take a closer look at how the database looks like. I'm just zooming in. As we can see, RecoverGuard can show you the various subcomponents of a database. We have a database instance here, and we can see the placement of various components. So it's stored on 3 file systems. It's all neat, but in this case I want to expand it. And so now what we can see clearly is that our database files, I'm just going to highlight those, are stored on a file system which is in turn striped across two symmetric devices, which in turn have an elaborate replication structure involving a remote copy plus additional remote point-in-time copies. Now, so this part is perfectly taken care of, but if we take a closer look at the rest of the files, we'll notice that they have evidently being stored on a local storage device or directly attached storage, which practically means these portions do not have replica, which in turn means that the entire remote copy we have is totally unrecoverable. And so again, the phenomena of inadvertently mixing replicated SAN storage with local DAS is not altogether uncommon. In this case, again, the issue is about data loss. Let's move on to some availability related risks, and I'm going to find those by choosing the category tree and then clearing up all the categories but for availability issues, and search again. Now we should have a full view of those risks within the data center. And so let's just pick one such example, and as usual open the topology. And so what we see here is a NetApp environment, by the way, a NetApp SAN, and we have a two-node cluster, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is the active one, currently activating a volume group which is stored on those four SAN volumes, the one I've just highlighted. Now, what you can clearly see, and that's what the ticket states, is that the standby system is connected only to 3 of those devices. Here is 1, 2, and 3. It's practically not connected to the 4th volume, which is used by the volume group. Practically meaning that should System 1 fail, System 2 will try to go through the sequence of obtaining all the necessary resources. It will fail to mount the application volume group, and therefore instead of recovering within minutes, the system will stay down until manually addressed. Let's pick another example. Again, this one is in a clustering environment, and this is a rather simple issue. So what probably happened is that more storage was needed as part of the cluster, and a new cluster resource was configured to let the cluster know it should manage the new file systems. Now, there is also something you have to do manually once you create the resource and file system and so on, which is actually a relatively simple operation. You need to create a directory in each one of the nodes and the standby nodes, because otherwise it's really not possible to mount the file system. This is how Unix works. Now, because this is a manual operation, it may either get missed on one of the nodes, or even the slightest misspelling might result in the fact that one of the standby nodes cannot really complete the sequence of recovery should it be called to. And so this will probably remain hidden until there is a failure incident, and then your failover or switchover will not work, and then guess who is going to get a call in the middle of the night. And probably this could have been avoided by just running a scan using RecoverGuard. And so with that, I want to make a short conclusion of this demo. So RecoverGuard is a very easy to deploy and easy to use analytics tool. It will get you back in control over your high availability NDR environment, bridging the gap between various IT silos with an extremely wide, more than 3,000 signatures. It will allow you to keep your systems in top shape. It's actually the equivalent of running a full load DR test every day without disrupting production, without the overhead associated with full DR testing. RecoverGuard will also show very fast ROIs in terms of resource optimization, elimination of downtime and data loss, and significant reduction in the effort of manual auditing and preparation for full-blown DR testing. And so please contact us at our website www.continuitysoftware.com for any additional information. Thanks for watching this RecoverGuard product demo.